In contemporary discourse, the aspiration for universal success and wealth is often championed as an attainable goal through hard work, perseverance, and ingenuity. This optimistic narrative underpins the ideology of meritocracy, which suggests that individual effort alone determines economic outcomes. However, a critical examination reveals that this narrative oversimplifies reality and neglects fundamental natural laws, in particular, the principle of duality and balance that governs societal structures. The assertion that not everyone is meant to be rich is not merely a pessimistic view, but a recognition of intrinsic limitations and necessary inequalities that sustain social order and human diversity. The philosophical foundation: duality, balance, and natural laws. At the core of this perspective is the ancient philosophical concept of duality, prominent in traditions such as Taoism and Hinduism. The Taoist principle of yin and yang exemplifies how opposites, light and dark, success and failure, wealth and poverty, are interconnected and codependent. These pairs are not merely contrasting, but mutually defining. The existence of one necessitates the other. In Taoism, harmony arises from balancing these opposites, implying that societal equilibrium relies on the coexistence of disparities. This concept extends to societal and economic structures. If wealth were to become ubiquitous, the very meaning of wealth would diminish. Scarcity imbues wealth with value, an essential component that motivates innovation, effort, and social differentiation. If everyone becomes wealthy, wealth loses its significance and the privileges associated with it become meaningless. The natural law of duality suggests that inequality is an inevitable byproduct of human nature and societal function, necessary for vitality and progress. The prevalent belief that anyone can become rich through effort alone is an oversimplification. While individual effort is undeniably important, it operates within a complex web of factors, social, economic, genetic, and circumstantial, that influence outcomes. For example, education, social capital, access to resources, and even geographic location play critical roles in determining economic success. Consider the case of talented individuals born into impoverished circumstances. Despite their intelligence and determination, systemic barriers such as inadequate education, discrimination, or lack of access to capital can stifle their upward mobility. Conversely, some individuals achieve wealth with minimal effort, often due to inherited wealth, advantageous social networks, or sheer luck, factors beyond their control. Philosophers like Friedrich Hayek have argued that economic disparities are natural results of individual differences in talent and effort, and that attempts to engineer equality often lead to unintended consequences. Similarly, Adam Smith's notion of the invisible hand indicates that individual pursuit of self-interest can produce societal benefits, but it also results in unequal distributions that are not entirely within individual control. A significant component of wealth inequality arises from inheritance. Historically, wealth has been passed down through generations, creating a form of economic aristocracy that is resistant to meritocratic ideals. This phenomenon is evident in the concentration of wealth among a small percentage of families who have accumulated assets over centuries. Luck also plays a pivotal role. Entrepreneurs like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos benefited from favorable timing, technological breakthroughs, and social networks that facilitated their rise. Many talented entrepreneurs with similar ideas or skills never achieve comparable success due to the vagaries of chance. This interplay of effort, privilege, and luck challenges the myth that wealth is solely a product of individual merit. Instead, it suggests that structural factors and randomness significantly influence economic outcomes. Imagining a society of universal wealth. Consequences and paradoxes. Suppose hypothetically that all individuals suddenly became millionaires. Would societal dynamics and the privileges associated with wealth remain intact? Unlikely. The value and significance of wealth are rooted in its scarcity. When everyone possesses similar levels of wealth, social hierarchies based on material possessions would diminish, potentially leading to a flattening of social distinctions. However, new forms of inequality could emerge, perhaps based on influence, intelligence, or access to exclusive networks, underscoring that inequality is multifaceted and not solely financial. Moreover, economic inflation could ensue, devaluing currencies and rendering the concept of wealth meaningless or unstable. Furthermore, the rise of billionaires and even trillionaires exemplifies how wealth can accumulate exponentially, often driven by systemic advantages and technological monopolies. This phenomenon suggests that wealth concentration is a dynamic process, governed by societal laws and economic incentives, reinforcing the idea that wealth distribution is inherently uneven. The necessity of inequality for societal functioning. From a sociological and economic perspective, inequality serves functional purposes. It incentivizes productivity, innovation, and risk-taking. Without the prospect of reward, motivation diminishes and economic activity stagnates. Philosopher Karl Marx argued that capitalism inherently produces class divisions, which serve to organize labor and resources, but also perpetuate disparities. Conversely, thinkers like John Rawls have proposed principles of justice aimed at reducing extreme inequalities, advocating for social arrangements that benefit the least advantaged. Rawls' difference principle suggests that inequalities are acceptable only if they improve the welfare of society's most disadvantaged, highlighting that some level of disparity is tolerated as long as fairness is maintained. The limits of human effort and the natural order. While effort and determination are vital, they are insufficient to guarantee wealth or success. The natural order, societal structures, and chance all shape individual trajectories. Recognizing these limitations fosters humility and encourages societal reforms that aim for fairness without insisting on absolute equality. For example, policies like progressive taxation, social safety nets, and equal access to education are attempts to balance societal inequalities, acknowledging that while disparities exist, society has a moral obligation to provide opportunities for all to succeed. Conclusion: embracing natural inequality and striving for fairness. The idea that everyone is meant to be rich overlooks the fundamental principles of natural law, societal dynamics, and human diversity. The law of duality suggests that inequality and scarcity are intrinsic to the fabric of society, serving vital functions in motivation, innovation, and social order. While efforts to promote fairness and reduce unnecessary suffering are commendable, they must be balanced with an understanding that absolute equality in wealth is neither feasible nor desirable. Instead, societies should focus on creating equitable opportunities, addressing systemic barriers, and fostering environments where individuals can realize their potential, regardless of their starting point. In embracing the natural inequalities of life, we can better appreciate the complexity of success and develop more compassionate, resilient societies that value diversity, fairness, and the ongoing pursuit of progress within the bounds of natural law.